What is up, DTube, Steam blockchain? So today I want to talk about out of crisis can be transformed into order, and the evolutionary push forward. So this is what I want to talk about today. So we already have this thing in nature that you can see. If you observe, out of disorder comes order, disorder again comes, and you see this this loop where it keeps on repeating itself. But it seems as every cycle is at least right now that it's, even though it seems like more crisis is coming, but you can also see that how systems in nature are organized right now, for especially for humans, it's better organized than ever before. And some major crisis things that needs to be looked at is water and soil. But if you look at most other things, it can somewhat be managed. And with internet, we can see how we're building these super efficient energy machines. Started calling them smartphones. Now they're mainly just energy efficient machines, energy device. So that is organizing it so humans have more free time to observe things in life, right? So that is very interesting. So what happens when you organize systems, when you transform crisis into order? Well, it makes so humans get even more free time to sort of look at, okay, can we make even better systems? Can we look at maybe evolution and sort of look at it and see if, well, is evolution a done thing, or is it a continuous thing that keeps on going, and that we're not really done? Like, we're not done in terms of evolution. Humans, somewhat most evolved creature in this place. And it's like, when humans have more free time, they can sort of start to look at this and be like, wait a sec. We clearly can't be a done thing, right? We can clearly evolve further consciously to even a better, more exciting state where stuff is even better than what it is right now. I mean, we can clearly see it, that a lot of stuff can be way better. So it's quite fascinating how systems that don't have a major crisis, but just have maybe tiny things happening here and there, but no really big thing, they can kind of come into sometimes even a worse state than what a real crisis would be. Because you kind of get these systems in nature that don't have a major crisis. What kind of can happen then is you have this frog being boiled in water, and you turn up the heater slowly. The frog doesn't jump out. It stays inside because it cannot feel the temperature rising, right? So when you have a large crisis, in some ways in nature, it seems as that can make people to sort of react quicker and sort of see, wait a sec, we need kind of have a better system here. And a simple example, look at it in terms of prices in, I'm not a financial advisor, prices in crypto. When you have these major dumps and major rises, in many ways, that's like a crisis pattern in many ways, where there's a lot of stuff happening. Like, it's like people see that, oh, this system can be better organized, so we have a disorder here, we have chaos here. This is something that needs to be paid attention to. While if it wouldn't have that sort of volatility and a lot of craziness, then maybe we never would get better improved systems, because people would be like, well, why should we do anything? It's like, why should we improve things, right? Maybe we should just run on this other technology and just keep on doing that. But nature sort of it seems like nature is sort of pushing crisis onto systems so they can become stronger. Now that may not even be the case, but that's a theory that nature is sort of detecting that, well, this system cannot really evolve further unless it has some kind of crisis or something is like a challenge, some kind of challenge that makes the system reorganize itself so it can take on, let's say, a bigger challenge. This is something that you see in sports and all kinds of things. But you also, of course, see a lot of systems that are basically stagnant, where it's like there's really nothing going on here. And that's something that the more people use the internet. Now, for example, with the internet, we see that kind of Google search is kind of boring. The search results are kind of boring. It's kind of status quo. They're sort of doing the same thing. A lot of websites, they're not trying to give you the best information. They don't really seem to be trying hard at the task, whatever they're doing. At least not most of the website now. And you see, like, okay, that's kind of boring. It's kind of status quo. They're not really trying to make something better. And why would they? If they have some system that keeps on pulling in value, right? It's like, why change? It's like it is as they do. The system do not have evolutionary pressure on it, and when systems do not have evolutionary pressure, when there's not something pushing on a system to reorganize itself and sort of improve and sort of evolve, it grows very, very stagnant. And it's actually very, very hard then for systems to even have the motivation to sort of improve itself, because it's like, why? This is kind of working right now. Why do any change? Because, to be honest, like, reorganize the system to make it better, to make it stronger, that takes massive amount of energy. And if you really look at it from a logical perspective, that doesn't really seem to be that clever. So in many ways, in terms of evolution, it actually tries to preserve a lot of energy, because it's like, you don't know when you may have to use this energy, right? And this is also one of the reasons why people why they love money, because the money is a form of, let's say, energy in a way. You may have to use it in the future. It can be useful in the future for survival and things like that. Mainly because, you can buy food with it, mobility with it, goods and services, right? So it's kind of interesting to see. That. And the second part is this evolutionary push forward with technology, that humans are always trying to see how they can use this better. But it's also good if humans try to sort of look at systems and see how can this be better for all, and not just for one individual. When they might pursue trying to do something that only maximize their own gain above sort of other what would be best for a whole group, right? So it's this kind of interesting thing where, it's best to focus, or you have this struggle in humans. Should they maximize their own gain, or should they sort of try to balance the whole system out? So if they sort of do that, they may lose some, but they sort of get a better system overall, and it may be good in the long run, right? So it's always this challenge in humans in terms of evolution, in like, how should they do stuff? How should they do stuff? And nature basically, it has pushed, as I said earlier, nature sort of has pushed humans to this state, right? Where we have this amazing technology. And it's like, okay, we should, and every human will want to enhance what it is they are right now. They want to be a little bit more. They want to be a little bit improved, a little bit enhanced, and they always want to like keep do this, right? Keep accumulate to become a little bit better than the previous day, and this is very engaging for humans, right? It's very engaging for humans, and it's not like we can go back in evolution, and it is this struggle in humans where they really have to realize, wait a sec, a lot of these fragile systems that we did, it's only like a lot of it is belief systems. So a lot of structures that humans invented, it's a lot of belief systems, and if humans do not back it anymore, it may just go away, right? Because there is no humans that like keep reinforcing some systems, right? So they just fall flat eventually. And that's sort of what we're seeing right now with a lot of structures in nature and a lot of stuff that humans have invented. They sort of realize eventually, well, that was really just something that we created. It was not something that was constant, like fixed in nature. Wait a sec. Kind of stuff in nature is kind of changing. It's kind of changing all the time, and humans, not a dumb thing. They're sort of changing as well. The way they use tech, the way they communicate with humans, the way they live their life. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool how you sort of have this limitless novelty structure built in. Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how humans try to make like a fixed system, because it would maybe drive them crazy to always sort of live in this continuous life where always new stuff is happening. But that is sort of what life in many ways is. It's like this continuous thing that always is changing and shifting. But yeah, I mean, the main thing I want to talk about was this thing. It's kind of cool seeing how crisis that almost anything in nature can be used to like transform it into something. Who knows what it's going to be transformed into? We don't know. We never know the end result, what something is going to lead to. But we can sort of see that when humans are investing time, energy, resource in various systems, we can see it's kind of changing. It's doing something. Same as when a human is eating food, they are changing. I mean, their atoms are changing. Their whole body is the piece of food, right? So there's nothing that is not changing, right? And that's kind of interesting. Yeah. So yeah, that is basically what I wanted to say. And I think that a lot of people they do feel sort of stuck, and I see that when people are doing a lot of videos on a lot of topics that sort of concerns them, it really is a struggle for them to move on, let's say. Maybe it's because they haven't really accepted that something did happen. So it can be very, very challenging for a lot of people to sort of, accept something that is sort of observed in nature and then sort of do their best, right? Because the only thing they can do is they can do their best, right? I mean, they just do their best, and that is what they can do. Yeah. So yeah, what I want to talk a little bit about today, I think the irony in the long run is going to be that, like in the future, people may just try to invent crisis because it may be so calm that they go crazy. But I think that if you have it very calm, if a human really engage themselves in whatever it is they want to do in life, and they just keep, they're just passionate about everything, about everything in life, then they can keep themselves entertained for a million years. That would be pretty cool. Then the stuff is calm, can be quite good. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Have an awesome day, DTube and the Steam blockchain. Bye bye.